So if this was 1956 or before that, I would be completely underwater right now. I'm at the Ricketts Glen State Park in Pennsylvania. This is I guess this was Lake Lee, and this is what is left of the Lake Lee Dam. It was intentionally breached in 1957. I'm going to tell you the story as to why and what happened to this land. This would have been a hydroelectric plant here. So I'm going to tell you the story as to why it's not and why now it's this beautiful place. So this is all to the thanks of Colonel Robert Bruce Ricketts. He acquired this land way back in the day and decided that he wanted to build this dam up the water and actually build a hydroelectric plant here. So they started building this, well, they built this entire dam. So Colonel Robert Ricketts, who served in the Union Army as an artillery officer, returned to his home state of Pennsylvania in 1869 and started purchasing land. Over the next 5 to 10 years, along with his father and his uncle, he purchased over 80,000 acres of pristine, beautiful Pennsylvania land. At some point, he had a lumber company sawmill here, which was successful. And by the 1890s, the town of Ricketts was a major lumber town. Now today, Ricketts is just a ghost town, basically. From what I've seen and read, there's very little of it left. Small amounts of foundations and things like that. Early 1900s, the colonel decided he wanted to try his hand in the hydroelectric power industry. And 1907, 1908, he had this dam constructed, but the dam wasn't profitable. I believe this is the Kitchen Creek that fed this dam, creating Lake Lee. Lake Lee is named after the colonel's second daughter, Frances Lee. Now, there's not much info on the construction of this dam or the specs or anything. All I've seen is really that it was just quote-unquote poorly constructed and it was not profitable, and then it was condemned by the state in 1956. And here it sits. This is from 1939, and it shows Lake Lee, and you can see the dam and the footprint of, I don't know if that was, maybe the lake was kind of low at that point. Maybe they had already discovered that the hydroelectric plant was not going to happen anymore, so they let it drain down more. Who knows? But this was still a few years, certainly, before the state actually had it breached on purpose. Here, I'll show you one of the areas where they purposely breached the dam in 1957. It was just deemed too weak. Now, you know, I'm no engineer, but I just feel like you could kind of see that any modern day dam that I've ever seen is way thicker than this. It just seemingly made way stronger. I mean, you can kind of see the meshwork in there. So they felt that it would not hold the amount of water needed to give out the power that was desired. Look at this. Wow. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like, you know, this would have been a very strong dam. I don't know. It's pretty tall though. I would say, I don't know, maybe 30 feet, 35 feet, something like that. I'll take you up on the top. Well, the first accomplishment, if you come here in getting up to the top, is to not twist your ankle. Once you're up here though, this kind of gives you a more interesting perspective. Okay, that's all I'm doing. The actual dam starts all the way over here, so I'm assuming on either side, as it comes all the way out here, maybe at one time there might have been water here too, but it's hard to say. I mean, these trees are pretty big, pretty old. So even though the dam is over 100 years old, if they purposely breached it in 1957, then that would give you, what, 70 years? That, I don't know, maybe these trees weren't here and this was more of the lake. I don't know. That is a job for historicaerials.com. That's a very good site if you're into historic places and looking back what things look like. In fact, I'm going to look at that and show you pictures of it. So there you go, just a short video. The Lake Lee Dam, the abandoned dam, whatever you want to call it. This is the Ricketts Glen State Park here in Pennsylvania. And if you come here, take a couple hikes. There's some beautiful waterfalls around and some other things to see. Nice lake to swim in. It's a nice place. All right, see you in the next video.